I happen to be the warm-up act for the several companies that follow me, so I appreciate you being here, and it's an honor and a pleasure to present our company J3 Bioscience for the company showcase. Again, my name is Tyler McCabe, and we are J3 Bioscience, and we are a women's health medical device company in the gynecological health space, and we are focused on developing medical device products to improve women's health. And our lead product happens to be a product known as Livering, formerly known as VR101, which is what was named when we were going through the regulatory process, but now we have branded it as the Livering, which means lubricating intravaginal ring. And we're going to talk about the product. We're going to talk about the process that we went through as a company for over the 10 years plus to get this through regulatory clearance and to get this on the market. Intended use is listed in the middle paragraph, designed to moisturize and lubricate the vagina, enhance the ease and comfort of intimate sexual activity, and supplement the body's natural lubrication. Now that is the intended use of all lubricants. A challenge that we had that we'll talk about in the process that I go through in the slides is that we were technologically different than lubricants that are on the market. And so we had to do a little additional studies in order to demonstrate that we were safe and effective against or as a lubricant product. So this product contains no hormones or drug. We'll talk about that as well, and that's a major advantage. As we go through the showcase topics here listed on the slide, we'll go through the introduction and the challenges and how we got through the regulatory process, and we'll also introduce our team and where we are going from here in terms of commercialization. Two things I want to point out in this slide. The product and the intellectual property came from the University of Utah, and it's been a while when they were named Technology and Commercialization Office, then they were named TVC, and then they were now Pivot. And in terms of the funding that we secured to develop this product and get it to where it is today, is slightly less than $6 million that came from grants and contracts, high net worth individuals, angel investors, and family office. No venture capital. Sorry. So let's talk about the challenge. And we initially were a company that was founded on trying to prevent the acquisition of the human papillomavirus. This was about the time when the vaccines were coming out. So we basically pivoted and took our technology and developed a lubricating intravaginal ring that lasts for 7 days. We're going to talk about that process. So the challenge is that 50 to 60% of all women will develop this condition. Interestingly, this starts at about age 45, but the FDA reminded us that 20% of the women that are 18 and over also have this condition. And so we were challenged to test that in women that were that young, and we said, increase our market? Great, we'll do it. Our solution is an intravaginal ring, patented, controlled release of a lubricating moisturizer. It's now FDA cleared. So this does relieve chronic dryness symptoms, contains no drugs or hormones, supplements the body's natural lubrication process, allows for spontaneous intimacy, and also works to treat symptoms that are impacting women daily. Protected by 4 US patents that I'll talk about and 10 foreign patents. So in our clinical studies, in this short presentation, I'm not going to show you clinical data, we have it, but we were able to get comments from the participants. And one of my favorite is, I wouldn't change a thing, best thing ever. That says it right there. So you can look at those real quick, and the women just really gave a really good review in terms of the product performance. So the large and growing market, we understand what that market is globally and in the US, and the total addressable market is 500 million women. And this has to do with women living longer, becoming more aware, and seeking solutions. We understand the market in terms of the prescription and over-the-counter market. We are over-the-counter, and the opportunities that are there for us in terms of the commercialization process. So as we were developing, and we're going to go along this arc here, the product, we encountered several challenges. We did start in 2011 writing the patents and looking at regulatory guidance and the process there. And then we also performed some biocompatibility testing that is done, these are non-clinical studies, and then biosafety studies. And then we performed a pilot study, and we were very encouraged with the results. But as we then moved through into our next clinical study, we met these challenges of technological differences in terms of a predicate device. We use the predicate device lubricant called Replens, which is marketed by Church & Dwight, same company that you know that does Arm & Hammer and Trojan condoms. And that is just a lubricant product in a tube with an applicator. We are a ring. We have to show the FDA that we are efficacious enough to be inserted once a week, and that it is not doesn't show any safety concerns. So that was a huge technological hurdle that we had to get over, and that demonstrate that this was a huge advantage. Then we did a final supplemental clinical study, which was using a validated patient-reported outcome questionnaire, and that was just off the charts, statistically significant, and we were then able to gain FDA clearance from that third study that we performed. So now we are in the process of branding, market commercialization, and which all ends up in an exit. And that exit could come from us doing our own commercialization and then to an acquisition or a license opportunity, and we're working with an investment banker on that process. Patents are indicated here. We received our U.S. patents over from 2015 to 2019, and our foreign patents have been coming in foreign jurisdictions, 2016 to 2021, with India still pending. Again, we know who owns these patents. That's the University of Utah. We are a licensee from the university, and they have been incredible to work with in my experience. So as we go down the commercialization process and adding value to the potential exit, we have developed a manufacturing process, and we're working with Spectrum Solutions in Draper, Utah, that will be our manufacturer. And we have developed a package for the product, and there are going to be 4 rings per box. It's sold as a month supply because they're changed weekly. And we're thinking the retail price would be about $28 to maybe $30 per month. So interesting challenges that everybody experiences when they're going to market is that what you put on the box has to be cleared by the FDA. That all has to go in your 510K or your FDA filing. Like I said, we are working with an investment banker out of New York City, Toreo Partners, and they are right now in a outreach process in terms of gaining potential acquirers or potential licensors to help us go to market and help us through our exit strategy. We also, during the process, wanted to know, well, what do the gynecologists think? And what is a product that would be successful in the market? And here's a publication in U.S. Forecast and Market Analysis out to 2022 in the Global Data Pharma Project report, or Pharma Point report, that said if you had something that was used, for example, for once a week with no side effects, that would be ideal. And lo and behold, that's what we're developing, a weekly product that you can insert, put in, forget about it, and then change it weekly. We kind of look at ourselves as the Cialis for women. We also have other pipeline products that we're developing. Not only are we looking at our own lubricating intravaginal ring, we're looking at a pH balancing ring that would help with reducing the incidence of bacterial vaginosis. Same with a probiotic ring. And we're also looking at a live-ring light version that may actually go longer in terms of duration because we can moderate the release across that reservoir membrane that this ring is made of. This ring is really a hollow tube that has a rate controlling membrane that's operated by an osmotic gradient where it responds to dryness on the outside of the ring and releases the lubricant in response to a dry environment. And so it's almost an on-demand process in terms of how this ring, the mechanism of action of this ring. We have been very careful in our management team. Our board and our team has been very small but very efficient. And we have a variety of folks, including Jane Carney, who was at the Technology and Commercialization Office when we first wrote our patents. We have an R&D team, we have a regulatory group, we have a legal group and marketing group, and a lot of these are outsourced. So we did not build a brick and mortar process for our company, but we have virtually outsourced everything we have done in development, 90% of it. We have a clinical advisory board who has helped us through the FDA process and understanding our clinical data. And what we also understand is the ring technology. Well, I didn't invent the circle. We actually improved it in terms of what our approach is, our therapeutic approach. We know from a variety of studies that have in peer-reviewed journals that the ring technology is widely accepted. There are rings that are on the market for contraception and also hormone delivery. The contraceptive is NuvaRing. There are also generic versions of NuvaRing. There are generic versions and branded versions of FemRing and Estring. And those are all hormone-based delivery products. So, what is our development traction to date? As we look down this entire list of getting to the top one, completed initial clinical study requires a lot of non-clinical testing. We did animal testing, we did biocompatibility testing, we did safety testing, all before we got to human studies. And then worked our way through 3 clinical studies, and we also looked at shelf life of this product, and we have 4.5 years of accelerated shelf life, and that's been followed up with 3 years of real-time testing, and we'll probably stop at the 4.5 years. We think that's enough. We don't need these sitting around in a drawer and waiting to be used. And so in May of 2021, that's when we got FDA clearance, and here we are now on our way to commercialization. So we are J3 Bioscience again, huge market, great solution, strong IP. Thank you, University of Utah. Proven, experienced team. FDA clearance, that's a major hurdle. Without FDA clearance, you're not going to market. And now we have a global commercialization opportunity and other pipeline products that are under development. Thank you.